Well, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another edition of the Fightful Select 205 Live NXT UK recap show. I am Mr. Warren Hayes, and I welcome you to this beautiful place, my little oasis of wrestling commentary here on the premium service of Fightful.com. This little nook in which I talk about the three top hours of WWE weekly programming. No, it's not Raw. and I want to thank you very much for joining me right here on Select. If you're watching this at your own leisure, that's fantastic. Just keep in mind one thing. Just keep this in mind. I do this show live every Wednesday right after NXT UK. So if you ever do have the chance, the inclination, the possibility of coming in and joining me live, you can come pop into the live chat, have a good time. And as we go over an eventful evening, at least for a couple of shows. No, actually, it was an eventful evening. Lots of things that happened that have title implications, WrestleMania implications, or at least takeover WrestleMania weekend implications. Let's put it that way. So I'm very, very happy to go through this with you all, but I'm mostly very happy that you are here supporting Fightful.com. I mean, the subscriber base has doubled recently. We talk a lot about it. We hope it keeps going and going and going, because that means that there's more good stuff coming your way here as a Fightful Select member. Let's get right to it. Why don't we? I mean, there's news, but the news has to do with the shows. So we'll talk about the news as we're going along talking about the shows. I think that's a fair trade-off. I'm going to start with 205 Live, which is the tradition. I think I can start talking about traditions now here on the show. I've been doing this for a while, right? Of course I can. My show, I can do whatever I want. 205 Live starts with Mike Kanellis, who comes to the ring. He approaches the ring with Maria Kanellis, looking lovely. Both of them looking lovely. She has a microphone, and she when she's in the ring, she starts talking into it. She starts using it. She says she calls Mike the greatest wrestler in the world. And with the lack of pop that announcement generates, she calls the audience lazy, just like Drake Maverick, who threatened Mike to lose his job tonight if he doesn't defeat a surprise top cruiserweight. Now, this was set up last week, and then we all started going, "Whoa, who will this surprise cruiserweight be, ladies and gentlemen? Who mayhaps they be in a position to summon someone from out of the promotion to come into 205 Live and compete against Mike Kanellis? Who could be this top mystery cruiserweight? Well, it is none other than Akira Tozawa. 205 Live better be careful from this point on with these surprise announcements. Remember a couple of weeks ago when Buddy Murphy did an open challenge saying that, he can challenge anyone and he'll be ready to challenge anyone in the world? Remember that? And then it turned out to be Humberto Carrillo, who wasn't a bad cruiserweight, but I mean, as far as a surprise, something that you anticipate, you're like, But no, we have, instead of having, I don't know, anyone out of the ordinary, we get Akira Tozawa. I mean, which is fine. I like Akira. He's solid. He's a solid worker. I have no issues. So basically, the match starts. There's some back and forth to start with both guys doing their best to stay on top of the other. But finally, Mike Kanellis rolls Tozawa to avoid a kick. But let me start this over. Mike Kanellis avoids a kick and rolls up Tozawa for a pin, but Tozawa kicks out. Tozawa hits a kick to a seated Mike Kanellis, followed by a senton, covers him, only gets 2. Tozawa tosses Kanellis to the outside, runs the ropes for a dive, but Kanellis is back in and super kicks Akira Tozawa down. There's a couple of failed pin attempts that leads to Kanellis stomping Tozawa. Brainbuster follows, covers Tozawa again for 2. Elbows in a chin lock happen in succession, but Tozawa fights out of the chin lock, runs the ropes, and a big forearm by Mike Kanellis takes him down. Tozawa, however, fights back. He gets a Hurricane Rana in, a Shining Wizard missile drop kick, covers Mike Kanellis for 2. Kanellis then avoids a spinning kick, but Tozawa locks him into the octopus stretch. Kanellis finally powers out and hits a side slam. They trade chops. Tozawa does the fake out and the jab, runs the ropes, but eats a spine buster by the former Mike Bennett. Covers Taz, but only gets 2. Taz, like I'm super familiar with him. That's my pal Taz, Akira Taz, a Taz. Kanellis goes up top. Tozawa follows them up onto the top rope. There's shenanigans that ensue. That ends with Mike Kanellis hitting a super Michinoku driver, which was cool. And he covers Akira Tozawa, who kicks out again. And now Mike is losing his mind. He's losing his patience. He's not a happy guy right now. He turns to Maria though, and Maria talks him down. Like a good supportive a partner should do. Should be able to should be in a position to talk you down and bring you back down to earth when when your emotions get too bottled up. What a perfect couple those two are. So Kanellis sort of refocuses his energy and starts laying into Tozawa with some elbows. But of course, Akira fights back, hits a spinning kick, goes up top again, or at least wants to go up top. But Maria Kanellis drapes herself over the corner, and goes like, hello. And tries to it's an attempt to keep Tozawa from climbing all the way to the top. But Akira's like, there's another corner right over there. So he just bolts to the other corner, goes up top for his top rope senton, but he eats Mike Kanellis' knees in the back. And then Kanellis hits the inverted spinning DDT for the win. So Mike Kanellis' bad luck streak has come to an end. I guess all the rumors of him leaving for greener pastures have been highly exaggerated at this point. So we'll see where this leads Mr. Kanellis. But I mean, this is good. Giving him a story. I think the buildup was a good idea. 205 Live needs some strong heels outside of Buddy Murphy. Like actual strong physical heels, because Drew Gulak is he's a great heel. His style is more of a technical one, but you guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. Backstage, Cedric Alexander is being interviewed by the tiny Kyla Braxton. He says he's confident. He cited his victory at WrestleMania last year. And then Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese come in and interrupt. Nese says basically that he's better. than ever. Well, Cedric Alexander is pretty much, plateaued. Can't say I disagree with that logic. Cedric responds by pointing out that he was good enough to or at least that Tony Nese might be good enough to be champion, but maybe Buddy Murphy, isn't too cool on, doesn't believe in him as much because Murphy's been talking about Cedric, you're not going to beat me at WrestleMania, so on and so forth, and Alexander sort of poked holes in there, and Murphy's like, no, don't worry, Tony, Alexander's playing mind games, we're cool, or are we? We get a match announced for next week, Lucha House Party versus Humberto Carrillo and the Submission Commission of Drew Gulak and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. So then it's main event time. The finals, right? It's the finals of the Cruiserweight tournament, the tournament to crown the number one contender for the Cruiserweight title belt championship at WrestleMania against Budworth Murphy. Cedric Alexander versus Tony Nese. Let's get at it. This was a fantastic match, you guys. As we say in the business, this was good shit, pal. There's a lot of back and forth to start, and Nese finally takes Alexander down with an arm lock. Alexander tries to get out of it, but Nese gets him back down into the arm lock, and then into an arm bar, and he does it twice. There's a couple of pin attempts that follow, but Nese takes Cedric down with a single leg takedown. That's usually what single leg takedowns do. They take you down, and then goes back into the arm lock again. There's a springboard crossbody by Alexander that takes Nese off his feet. They have some back and forth, and Nese finally takes Cedric down with a leg lariat, covers him, but only gets two. Bit of a messy head scissors spot that follows with Cedric Alexander, not quite hitting it, and Nese selling it anyway. Some chops by Alexander follow and gets Nese into a headlock. Alexander runs the ropes, but Nese runs right behind him and trips the former Cruiserweight champion. Alexander avoids the springboard moonsault, and a shotgun drop kick follows to the back of Tony Nese's head, covers him, and only gets two. Nese fights back with a face breaker over the knee, that delivers a knee, and then a spinning heel kick on Alexander. He runs the ropes. He runs the rope, but Nese eats a drop kick to the knees by Cedric Alexander. Cedric then runs on the apron. Nese counters and drops Cedric to the floor. Get back in the ring. Nese is in control, running, jumping forearm on Cedric Alexander, follows, covers him, but only gets two. Nese avoids an elbow strike and hits a Northern Lights suplex with the bridge, but only gets a two. A series of drop kicks eventually help Cedric fight back. Nese eats the back elbow and the neuralizer. Charges Nese in the corner. Flatliner ensues. Covers Nese, but only gets two. The lumbar check is blocked. Nese goes for a pump handle driver after Cedric fights out of it. Some shenanigans on the apron follow as Cedric hangs over the second rope. But he sort of had to place himself. I think he kind of slipped off the second rope. But despite all of that, Nese still heats the springboard drop kick. Running Nese is avoided and reversed by Cedric Alexander into a roll-up. It only gets two. Michinoku driver by Cedric Alexander follows. Covers Nese, but only gets two. Cedric goes for a springboard something. We'll never know because he eats a palm strike by Tony Nese. More top rope shenanigans ensue, and they start striking at each other, and then they both deliver a right fist to each other simultaneously, which makes them both tumble hard to the floor. That, my friends, creates some 205 chants from the audience We are not done with the audience being happy about this match. They both hang around on the outside as the referee counts, does the count out, and they beat the 10 count at the very last minute. And this, I got to tell you guys, I'm kind of fed up of this trope here, where they absolutely only get in like at 9.9 or 9.5, you know, where they're all like groggy and it's like 8, and they're also still like 9. And then as he goes to do 10, and all of a sudden they have like this spark and boom, just jump into the ring. I'm kind of tired of that. There's some forearms that follow, but Cedric, there's some Cedric delivers a European uppercut. They avoid, they each try to strike at each other with some kicks. They both go for a super kick at the same time, and their legs intertwine to get tangled up. You know, a kind of a happy miscommunication. That was a cool spot. But Cedric does finally hit, I should say, a super kick square on Tony's perfect jaw. And he covers Nice, who kicks out at 2.9. He puts Nice up on the top turnbuckle. Nice avoids, is able to avoid whatever Cedric had in mind, and he kicks Cedric to the floor. And that allows Tony Nese to hit a Fosbury flop, which is apparently making a comeback in WWE. Holy crap. Nese gets Cedric back in the ring, goes for the 450. It connects, covers, but Cedric Alexander kicks out. And at this point, I'm like, well, oh, there we go. There we go. Cedric Alexander is kicking out of the move. Cedric Alexander is going to WrestleMania, and I'm a bit bummed because it's not necessarily a match I want. However, Nese gets some offense in, and Cedric Alexander delivers a Spanish fly, then gets the lumbar check on Nese, covers him, but Nese kicks out of the lumbar check. One of the most protected finishers in all of WWE, and you have your boy Tony Nese here kicking out, and at this point, now my interest is piqued once again. I'm like, oh, now things are getting interesting. This is awesome chants are happening in the audience, which I concur and I agreed with. Buddy Murphy right now is the only guy at this point to have kicked out of the lumbar check. Now we have Tony Nese. Nese avoids a second lumbar check. They do some pinfall counters on each other, and Nese finally hits the running knees. It's such an unfortunate name, but he still hits the running knees on Cedric, covers them, and gets the win. Tony Nese is your boy heading to WrestleMania, not Cedric Alexander. So at this point, Cedric Alexander is 0 for 2 on someone kicking out of the lumbar check. If you kick out of Cedric Alexander's lumbar check, your chances of winning have become exponential. There are some "that was awesome" chants from the audience, a very, very appreciative crowd, and with reason. This match was so good, well-paced, calm, didn't over-deliver at first, like really built to this crescendo at the end. It was brilliantly put together. Cedric and Nese exchange pleasantries at the end. Buddy Murphy comes out to celebrate with his friend, his training partner, Tony Nese. And just as Nese has his back turned and turns right around, he eats a V-trigger by the champ, who is a heel, a complete and total heel. Boo! There's no more friendship, no more training partners anymore. The Cruiserweight champion has crushed this friendship. He has no more use for Tony Nese. This was a fun match, you guys. You have to go take a look at it if you haven't. highly recommended. So we have a WrestleMania match that has been set for WrestleMania. Cruiserweight champion is going to be defending to Tony Nese. Let me start that again. The Cruiserweight champion, Buddy Murphy, is going to be defending against Tony Nese, and we are all better people for it. NXT time. Triple H comes out to shock and awe from the audience. Cannot believe that the game is gracing Full Sail University. He comes out, he hits the top of the ramp, and he's holding the NXT title in his hands. And I got to tell you guys, that kind of bummed me out. Like, I knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. We had all heard about the news regarding Tommaso Ciampa, but man, what an absolute bummer. Triple H goes on to say that this place is special. This building is special. These fans are special. NXT is special because it is where dreams become possibilities. And he was going to come to, and he says, for every man and woman who steps in that ring, the dream can come to an end at any time. He was going to come to the ring and stand here and announce the main event of TakeOver New York between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, bringing their epic rivalry to a conclusion, but reality has made this match impossible. Ciampa's surgery has forced him to relinquish the title. Now, if you've been living under a rock at this point, Tommaso Ciampa's injury has required him to have anterior cervical fusion set. So let me try that again. Anterior cervical fusion surgery. And that is basically surgery to remove a degenerative disc from the neck, and it's actually done by cutting through your neck, your throat, I should say, to remove the disc, and then a graft is inserted to fuse the bones together. He is gone for at least a year, and it is an absolute bummer. I'm not going to go through this again, but it just, I don't know. I guess this is a coping mechanism for me to try and talk about this again. But he says, he being Triple H, he continues his promo nonetheless. He says the beautiful part of this is that in NXT, if one dream ends, another one begins. That's a very glasses half full way of seeing the world, but it's okay. I'm a natural optimist. Triple H apparently is too. I have something in common with them. Maybe we could discuss that over milk and cookies. So basically, he sets up a fatal five-way to determine the number one contender to face Johnny Gargano for the championship at TakeOver New York. And the 5 competitors who are going to take part in this match are Ricochet, Adam Cole, Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream, and Matthew Riddle. Triple H makes sure to really highlight the fact that we are going to get a definitive winner at TakeOver New York, because it's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match, and that I like. And immediately, pops into my head and said, wow, they better give this time. But you know what? The last time that NXT pulled a 2 out of 3 falls match, it was that breakneck pace match that Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler had. TakeOver Brooklyn? I think. And man, that match just zoomed by. It was a short match, but the pace that the ladies worked it was fantastic, and it made sense that you'd get 3 pinfalls in such a short amount of time. Will the guys work that kind of pace? Probably not. They'll probably give it a lot of time because it's going to be the main event. Or yeah, at least it should be the main event, right? So there we go. That's what we're so that's where we're at. Come back to us soon, Tommaso. I hope you're okay. We have interviews happening backstage to try and get comments on the big main event for the evening. So we get a comment from Kona Reeves. And we get comments from the Forgotten Sons as well. Nah, the Forgotten Sons, they're asking, well, what do you think about the main event? And they're like, what about the main event tonight? Next week, we're in the finals of the Dusty Cup, the Dusty Classic, Dusty Cup Classic, the Classic Cup of Dusty. Next week, you should be asking us, right? Like, well, what about our match next week? And that's okay. I like that. And I want to clarify something here. I was sort of taken to task on Twitter. That's some alliteration for you right there. Because I talked about it on the show here as well. Regarding the fact that I find that the booking of the Dusty Classic to be really, really strange this year, with Street Profits not going forward, Lorcan and Birch not going forward, and instead having the Forgotten Sons go forward. I was like, the Forgotten Sons, you got to give new opportunities to new people, which I agree. I am all about putting new talent in new spaces. Absolutely. What boggles my mind is that Lorcan and Birch had been positioned to be a competitive tag team, and they were thrown out. But even more boggling than that, Street Profits, who have had these pushes and have constant vignettes on NXT television and are constantly being pushed forward as a good team, plus they're super over. Why wouldn't you put these guys forward in the Dusty Classic? Why would you decide to push one of your least over acts in the company? It's not that they're bad wrestlers. They're just not over. While you have acts who are much more over. Lorcan and Birch are more over. I'm all about giving new guys, new gals opportunities. But at some point, there are some decisions that are really baffling. So it's not on their talent, in my opinion. It's just like, why aren't you doing it with other guys that are over already? You have them advance to another round, but in the finals, and the finals kind of feel telegraphed at this point, don't they? Unless there's some massive swerve that's being planned between Aleister Black and Ricochet, unless there's a massive swerve, I don't see Aleister Black and Ricochet losing to the Forgotten Sons. I don't see the Forgotten Sons being takeover worthy yet, especially to go up against the War Raiders. I don't know. It's just strange. The wrestlers involved in the Fatal 5-Way all-cut promos, Black and Ricochet, are still buds, but they understand that they have to fight each other for tonight because the title is so important. Dream is confident that he will become a double champion. Adam Cole says he's going to fight 4 of NXT's best, and he references the fact that, isn't it ironic, that at TakeOver Barclays Center 2 years ago, that's where I made my debut, beating up Drew McIntyre and holding the NXT title above my head. Well, I'm going to do it again, but as a champion, is what he said. He said champion, and I love Adam Cole even more than I possibly ever could. I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Kristen Ashley, Shane Haas. Good to see you guys, by the way. they run, and then they run the WWE.com video of Tommaso Ciampa's surgery with the doctors. You should check it out. I mean, it's still rather powerful stuff. And I didn't know Tommaso Ciampa had a baby. He has a baby, a little baby person human. How are we supposed to hate him when he's convalescing in a bed with his bouncing his baby? Kairi Sane and Io Shirai are backstage, and they're confronted by Bianca Belair. Something about them being friends, and Bianca being pissed that they interfered in her match last week, or that Shayna interfered in her match last week, because now everyone has to fight each other. Why can't we just get along? Is what Bianca Belair is saying. That's not what she's saying. And then the big match happens. We have one more match. Not even one more match, just one match on the card tonight. And oh boy, what a match. What a match. The Fatal 5-Way, Aleister Black, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, and Matt Riddle. The match starts, and there's a lot of people tossing folks outside the ring. They're just throwing each other willy-nilly until finally Dream and Black are alone in the ring. There's a lot of agility and strength. It's an agility and strength demonstration between these two guys to begin with. The Dream goes for a Dream Valley driver really early on, but it's reversed as Black gets Dream into a pinfall predicament. Black then runs the ropes, get the move evasion into the head scissors, followed by the rolling drop kick spot that he does. Riddle then runs in and hits three gut wrench suplexes on Ricochet without letting go of the waist lock, right? Cole comes in, hits a big enziguri on Riddle, gets attacked by Black, runs the ropes, and the tag team of Black and Ricochet do some double team offense that ends with Ricochet hitting his standing moonsault. And now the buddies stare each other down. They shake hands to show good sportsmanship and try to grapple. But Cole attacks Ricochet from behind, who bumps into Aleister Black, tossing the Netherlandsian. Why is it Dutch? It's the Netherlands. Netherlandsian. So Black is out of the ring. We have Ricochet and Cole in the ring. Cole hits a neck breaker on Ricochet, who covers him. Only gets two. Cole then he keeps Riddle out of the ring, hits a nice snap suplex on Ricochet, covers him for two. Cole then kicks Aleister Black, who's trying to get back into the ring. He kicks him back out. He back drivers Ricochet, covers him again, but again only gets two. Finally, Ricochet drop kicks Cole, and then Velveteen Dream runs in with a knee to Ricochet and sends him to the outside, and Dream goes after Cole. And then Dream goes to the top rope, hits a double axe handle on Black, tosses Cole to the outside, and hits a double axe handle on Cole all the way to the top to the floor. Back in the ring, Dream goes off the top rope and gets caught by a German suplex by Matthew Riddle. He blocks a kick by Aleister Black and gets him and smoothly transitions into the bro mission. It was really nice. That was nice. But Dream runs in to break up the submission. Black regains his senses and leg sweeps and knees Velveteen Dream. He hits a moonsault on both, not a moonsault, excuse me, a lionsault on both Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole. A knee on Dream covers him, but only gets two. He tries to set Dream up for a black mass, but Cole goes after him and throws him into the steps on the outside. Cole gets back into the ring and has a stare down with Matt Riddle. Some fists by Adam Cole follow palm strikes by Riddle. And Cole stomps Riddle's feet. Of course he does, because he's Adam Cole. Bye-bye. Riddle blocks a super kick, takes Cole down into a bro mission, and Dream breaks the submission up again. Cole, Dream, and Riddle all trade chops and punches, kicks between each other as they rise to their feet. In comes Ricochet with a kick of his own. Cole kicks Ricochet. Riddle kicks Cole. And Black and Riddle take each other out. Crowd is into it, of course. Of course. Ricochet goes up top, but Cole knocks him loopy. Shenanigans ensue, and a 5-man superplex on Ricochet happens, or a 4-man. It's 4-man because there's one guy, you know. Black and Dream are left in the ring, slugging it out some more. Meteora by Alistair. A kick and a German suplex follow. He covers Dream, but Riddle interrupts the pinfall attempt with a senton splash. He hits Black with a package driver, covers him, but the pin is broken up by Adam Cole. Cole super kicks Matt Riddle. He hits the over-the-knee brain buster, covers Riddle, but Ricochet breaks it up. An axe kick by Ricochet on Cole follows, but Cole answers with two super kicks. The last shot is avoided, and Ricochet hits a reverse Rana on Adam Cole, who rolls out of the ring. But that does not prevent Ricochet from hitting a Space Tiger drop on Cole. We just saw him do that. Like, was it on Monday? You don't see Space Tiger drops on WWE TV all that much. And we see two in 1 week. There we go. All right, I lost my place. There we go. Riddle and Dream counter in and out of each other's holds until Riddle hits him with a knee, and the bro mission follows. But Adam Cole pulls the ref out of the ring to avoid any tapping, any decision. Riddle releases the whole, sort of pissed off at what Cole just did, and that distraction forces him to walk right into a black mass. But then Velveteen Dream hits a Dream Valley driver on Aleister Black, and he goes up top to the top rope, probably for the Purple Rainmaker, but Ricochet arrives out of nowhere, and Hurricane Rana's Dream on the outside to the floor onto not Ricochet, but Adam Cole and Riddle. Not on Adam Cole and or was it just Adam Cole? It was probably just Adam Cole then. Ricochet gets back into the ring, hits the standing shooting star press on Riddle, covers him, but Adam Cole comes in out of nowhere, hits the last shot right to the back of Ricochet's head, breaks up the pin, covers, and Adam Cole is going to take over. He's going to wrestle for the NXT title. And I'm going to be frank with you guys. I'm also going to be Warren, but mostly honest. This kind of tosses a bit of a monkey wrench, I find, in whatever plans they had for Gargano. I kind of find it does, because as far as it, right up until this point, it was clear to me that Johnny Gargano was going to win the NXT title. But now I'm not so sure, because the story that they've been telling with Undisputed Era, the fact that they lost all their gold recently, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish couldn't advance in the Dusty Classic. Like, Undisputed Era is clearly in a slump, and commentary's been putting this over. So why not have Adam Cole pull out a big surprise win at TakeOver? Like, I wouldn't. They had started transitioning Johnny Gargano to main along with Ciampa before his neck got injured. Now, it kind of feels like Johnny's main roster bound at this point. Adam Cole would be a perfect NXT champion. Why not? Why not give Undisputed Era like one final hurrah in NXT, right? That'd be so good. It was a good match. Everyone looks strong here. I find that they took great precautions to keeping Matt Riddle strong, looking strong here. But everyone ended up looking. No one came off as weak here. This was a fun, fantastically paced match. I mean, if you're going to do a title match, or at least a match that has title implications, you want your guys to deliver on this feeling of urgency, right? And that's what they did tonight. I really, really like this match. There was one match on NXT, but they didn't need any more. Shane in the chat points out that Velveteen Dream almost landed on the apron on that Hurricane Rana that he took from Ricochet to the outside. And yeah, he did. That was a sick looking toss there. So good. A very important episode of NXT as far as setting things up for WrestleMania weekend. Let's move on to NXT UK. All right, now the Johnny Saint word count. We're up to 27. As you know, at this point, since January this year, I have decided to count the number of words that they are allowing Johnny Saint, general manager of NXT UK, to speak on a weekly basis. Because at some point they just paired him with Sid Scala so Scala could do all the talking. Johnny Saint is, he's just getting along. They're letting him say a few blurbs, but the real talker is Sid Scala. But it's weird nonetheless. He's the general manager. Why aren't they letting him talk that much? So at this point, we're in March, mid-March, spring, right? 27 words he's spoken so far. During this beginning promo here, Johnny Saint spoke 15 words, 2 sentences. I forgot to write down exactly what he said, but one sentence contained 7 words. The other one contained 8. If my math is correct, that's 15 words. So, yes, I have a little spray bottle. In case you were wondering, here on the Warren board. It's not a whiteboard, it's a Warren board. Mother always said branding is important. So we had 27 words before tonight, plus 15. That brings us up to 42 words spoken so far by the general manager of NXT UK. Now, what are they talking about in the ring? Well, Sid Scala announces that the UK title is going to be defended at TakeOver New York. That's a big deal. And who is Dunne going to fight? Well, they're not quite sure, but Pete Dunne's music hits, and he's going to, he'll certainly have an opinion. He'll have something to say. And he comes to the ring with the title, and he just grabs a mic and he says, "Give me Walter." That's my Pete Dunne impression, by the way. It's still a work in progress. And he exits the ring as Saint and Scala go, And one thing I found funny here, Big Joseph and Nigel McGuinness, the voices of NXT UK, they don't fly to the UK to do NXT UK and then fly back to do 205 Live and Nigel back to Full Sail. It's just not how it works. They tape they tape their commentary after, right? What's really funny because they have a shot of Pete Dunne walking back up the ramp as if they were, and the established shot is a crowd shot, but like as if they were from the Okerlund position, like looking over the ring in the crowd. And Nigel and Vic are sort of like half turned like this. For those of you watching the video, you'll see what I'm doing. Apologies to those of you listening on audio, but they're sort of like this. And then they slowly turn around as if they were looking at Pete Dunne leaving the ring and heading back up the ramp. And then they turn around and then do their commentary here. And they were so clearly on it in front of a green screen. I thought that was hilarious. Like, you're trying a little too hard, guys. We know you're not there. We know you're not there. We have a backstage interview with Toni Storm, who had stuff to say about Ginny. And then she bumps into Rhea Ripley, who has stuff to say about Xia Brookside. She calls her a rodent and tells her to quit your dreaming, little girl. He called her a rodent. I thought that was funny. She is a bully. She is a bully. I mean, Rhea Ripley scares the bejeebus out of me. Eddie Dennis versus Ligero is next. Dennis, who is back from his self-imposed exile after losing to Dave Mastiff at TakeOver Blackpool. And now he has Ligero to contend with. Ligero uses his quickness at first to avoid Dennis's offense. Hits a springboard stunner, covers Dennis for 2. Ligero avoids some more offense and super kicks Dennis to the outside. Goes for a springboard tope, but Dennis catches it, or plancha, I should say. It's not a tope, it's a plancha. Springboard plancha. But Dennis catches him and slams him on the apron. He whips Ligero into the corner, and a cravat follows. He whips Ligero into the corner again, hits hard, falls. Dennis covers, but only gets 2. He whips him into the ropes, forearms Ligero down for another cover, and pummels Ligero some more. Ligero eats a huge forearm in the corner. Dennis tries to whip Ligero into the corner again, but to whip him out of the corner. But Ligero clutches the ropes and hits a drop kick. A wheelbarrow face buster by Ligero follows. Dennis then lifts him up for the severed bridge, but Ligero rolls out and hits Dennis with a kick. It sends Dennis to the outside. A slingshot hurricane run from the apron to the outside on Dennis looked really, really good. Back in the ring, Ligero hits a splash off the top rope, covers Dennis, but only gets 2. Ligero then goes to the top rope and rolls through a dive as Dennis avoids it. But Dennis then takes him down with a clothesline. Ligero avoids the neck stomp driver. Enziguri on Dennis follows. The slingshot DDT is blocked, but Ligero satellites and hits a sunset flip bomb on Dennis. Covers him for 2.9. This all comes to an end when Dennis hits a stalling superplex that was really nice. Connects with the severed bridge and the neck stop driver for a win. Eddie Dennis is back. We have a comedy segment between Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. I don't even want to get into it. But they, I don't know. I don't even know. The dynamic here is that Kenny Williams wants to be serious and wants to work. And Amir Jordan is kind of a goofball, I guess. And Kenny's always trying to like keep him focused. Anyway, they're trying to angle themselves to get into a match for the NXT tag team titles. I'm okay with them pushing them as a tag team. If you're going to have tag team titles, you're going to need a tag team division, which means you're going to need tag teams. So that's fine. It's just this whole vignette here where Kenny Williams basically tells Amir Jordan, well, if you can do a crunch or what is it when you grab a bar and you lift? It's not as if I really know anything about working out. He says if you can do one of those, then you can go ask Johnny Saint for a match. I don't know. And then it was a montage. It was a comedy montage. It wasn't bad. It just didn't interest me. Next, we have those two pretty boys, Stoker and Howley versus Primate J. Melrose. Let me start over again. Primate J. Melrose and Wild Boar Mike Hitchman, also known as The Hunt, also known as just Primate and Wild Boar. Now, because apparently they've lost their names as well. Welcome to WWE, J. Melrose and Mike Hitchman. Your full names are unnecessary here. Or they're optional. So not much of a match here. It was mostly a showcase match for Melrose and Hitchman. There's a nice double team suplex, an assisted senton by the Hunt, and Primate follows up with a nice German suplex. At some point, Hitchman hits a spear. I think it's on Howley. He hits a spear. Melrose runs right in with a lariat in the corner after that. And then Boar hits that cannonball of his, man. Man, that looks like a nasty cannonball to take. And then they hit their finisher, which is a pop-up belly-to-belly back suplex. Or an assisted pop-up belly-to-back suplex. The Hunt win. Again, just like I said, you want a tag team division? You want a tag team champion? You're going to need a tag team division. And ever since NXT UK started, I've been really, really high on Mike Hitchman's work, Wild Boar's work. His cannonball is fantastic. He works really, really hard. He's got fantastic energy to him. Jay Melrose is great as well. This team works for me. Works much more than Tyson T-Bone and Saxon Huxley. Blah. Blah. The NXT UK debut of Cassius Ohno versus Ashton Smith. You already know where this one's going. Bringing Cassius Ohno on to NXT UK is such a good idea. Hopefully, Ohno can get a career resurgence here. But he is from everything that I heard, Ohno was all about being a very positive locker room influence. He's a guy. He's been wrestling forever. And he is a legitimate encyclopedia of stuff. He understands the game. And he helps elevate the younger talent. He's a locker room leader. So if this is the kind of stuff that they needed in the UK, or at least a little more depth in their on their roster, I mean, you can't go wrong with Chris Hero here. And his British background, his British wrestling background is legitimate as well. So it all makes sense, and it's good for him, and I hope that it really works out for him because I'm a bit of a Cassius Ohno fan. I really like him. This was a fun match showcasing Ohno's grappling game as well as his striking abilities, which we're much familiar with. I'll just run through it quickly here. We'll move in later into the match. The match actually starts with a show of sportsmanship by Cassius Ohno, who fist bumps Ashton Smith. It's a competitive match. Ohno is at some point lays into Smith with some huge chops. Smith kicks Ohno in the jaw, and a flurry of forearms and uppercuts follow. Super kick, and he had tried multiple times previously to lift Cassius Ohno into a fireman's carry position, and finally he does it. Gets a Samoan drop on Ohno, covers him, but Ohno kicks out. Smith runs the ropes, but Ohno is right behind him and boots him. It's a pair of sentons, and the Dream Crusher lands, and that is that. Debut victory for Cassius Ohno. I was kind of, I was kind of wondering if they were going to continue the angle that they had going with Cassius Ohno in NXT, where he just can't catch a break. It's like against Ashton Smith and allow Smith to go forward, but no. Ohno gets the win. And Ohno goes to check on Smith, and lifts him up and, claps his hands, celebrates. And then Dream crushes him again because he's a heel. Got to make sure here, NXT UK people. You may have given Ohno a big, big pop when he appeared, but he's an asshole. That's basically what we're saying here. So Ohno leaves the ring and he crosses Travis Banks, who comes to check on Ashton Smith. And then Ohno sort of walks over, sort of like, why are you looking at me? And it looks like he wants to try something on Banks, but Banks sort of sees him. And Ohno's like, no, it's fine. And he's smiling in the applause. Man, disingenuous Cassius Ohno is good. The Gallus boys are in some kind of diner somewhere having a coffee. Get it? Because of the Coffee Brothers. And they basically, it's Joe Coffey saying that, they've had some bad moments, but they're going to shape up. They're going to shape up. Main event time is Tyler Bate, one half of Mustache Mountain, versus James Drake, one half of the Grizzled Young Veterans, NXT UK Tag Team Champions. This was a fun match. Bate and Drake trade waist locks to begin with, some back and forth to start. Drake finally gets Bate into an arm lock, but Bate gets out and drop kicks James Drake. The airplane spin follows. Bate then goes up top, but Drake pushes him off the top, and your big strong boy falls to the floor. Back in the ring, Drake hits a gut-wrench suplex on Tyler Bate, covers him, but only gets 2. Bate fights out of a chin lock, but Drake hits a backbreaker, a nice, super nice snap suplex. No, it wasn't a snap suplex. It was just a regular old suplex, but it was still really nicely done. He stomps Bate on the back, but Bate, Bate fights out of a chin lock, avoids a backbreaker, and goes for some straight punches on Drake. Hurricane Rana follows, big body drop, a knee lift, and a flying elbow off the second turnbuckle. Bate is on fire. Exploder suplex follows, the standing shooting star press. He's hitting all the greatest hits. Bate covers Drake, but only gets 2. Drake eventually gets one up on Bate by tripping him up and tossing him to the floor. But Bate is waiting for him and tosses Drake into the barricade. Back in the ring, Drake hits a sit-out face buster, covers Bate for 2. Enziguri follows by Drake, and Bate comes back with his bounce-back lariat. But Drake hits a huge drop kick on Bate in the corner and covers him for 2. A 450 follows. It's avoided. Drake lands on his feet, but Bate hits an exploder suplex right into the corner. He goes up top for a corkscrew senton. Covers James Drake, and that's the win for Tyler Bate. Good job. This was a fun match. I wasn't expecting something as cool, nicely paced, great moveset. I kind of rediscovered James Drake here. I find he's been, he was a standout in the original UK tournament. Kind of thought it was a shame that they weren't doing it, that he didn't participate last year, or was he? I can't remember if he was eliminated like in the first round. I think he was eliminated in the first round. So I kind of rediscovered James Drake tonight. Pretty happy about that. And to end the show, we have Walter coming out of Johnny Saint's office. And we see Johnny Saint and Sid Scala. And Johnny Saint says 3 more words. He says, take it, Sid. So, we go back to the Warren board here. 42 plus 3 brings us up to a total of 45 words so far. That's a weird looking 5. It looks like an S, but you know it's a number. 45 words spoken by the general manager of NXT UK so far in 2019. And Sid Scala confirms that it will be Walter versus Pete Dunne at TakeOver New York. Ooh, I'm already salivating, folks. That should be a good one. Should be a lot of fun. But you know what was a lot of fun as well? Doing this show here. We're going to wrap it up because it's, it's good to have fun. But at some point, if you have too much fun, you just end up with a headache the next day and, wondering where the hell you fell asleep because you don't recognize where you are. That's what happens when you have too much fun. But folks, I want to thank you all very much for joining us live or whenever at your leisure here. Hope you enjoyed it. You can always follow me on Twitter at Mr. Warren Hayes. I also have my own YouTube channel, by the way, at youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes, where I do Raw and SmackDown recaps and a bunch of other stuff. So go check that out. But in the meantime, thank you so very, very much for supporting Fightful Select, for being a Fightful Select member, and therefore supporting Fightful. We all appreciate it a great deal here. So there you have it. I'm gonna end it on that note. Thank you again. We'll see you next time.